Today's topic is the growth of Sufism. So for this, let us begin with a question once again. The question is, give a brief description of the development of Sufi idea and the organization of khanqahs and silsilas. So that question will cover the whole topic, that is 6 and 6.1. So now Sufism became a well-developed movement in the 11th century. Now it led to publication of literature on Quranic studies and Sufi practices. The word Sufi is derived from Suf, that means wool. It also shows that the coarse woolen clothes which was worn by the Sufis. That is why they used to call it as Sufs. Some other people, they say that the word Sufi was derived from a word known as Safa, which means purity. And then some more people, they say that the word Sufi may have also been derived from the word Sufa, which signify the platform which is outside the mosque, where Prophet Muhammad basically sit and pray or does his service. The followers of the Prophet Muhammad also assembled near this platform and they learnt about faith. The Sufis began to organize communities around khanqah, and these khanqahs were controlled by Sheikh, who was a Pir or Murshid, or we can say he was also a teaching master or a teacher. So now the Sufis, they have different types of teachings or different types of followings. So as we go through this, let us see what does Sufi wants or what do they really practice. Now the Sufis rejected the intellectual explanation of Quran given by conservative religious leaders. Now if there are some person who have explained something about Quran, these Sufis say that we do not accept it, because whatever was explained or whatever was told by these religious leaders basically are very conservatives. Conservatives means they don't see the world with different viewpoints. They just see the world with their viewpoint, and according to that only they have given some explanation of Quran. That is why the Sufis rejected this intellectual explanations. Another thing that they said is that they emphasize that a path of salvation, that means in order to get God or in order to be free from all this pain of this world, one have to be devoted to God, and to show his devotion he have to be a very obedient person, not by his only outer duties, but by his will. It means what is that he should not show the world that I am a very obedient person. Exactly what he have to do is that he should show or he should do all the things that is necessary to be near the God by his will. It should not be a showy business. That is what they say. And then another thing that they said is they stated that Prophet Muhammad was a person who have taught them all these things, because according to Sufis they say that Prophet Muhammad never have showed that he is very near to God, or he is very much close to God, or he is very special to God. He never showed to people that he is very rich or he is very poor. He never showed to the people that he is one of the most wanted disciple of God. He never showed this. He just led his life very simple. He had no problem with anyone. He never fought, or he never have any kind of jealousy feeling or this and that. So that is why the Sufis, they say that Prophet Muhammad was a person, insane kamil or kamil, and therefore they follow, that means the Sufi follow his idols and teachings. Then they say that means the Sufis say that they interpreted Quran on the basis of their personal experiences. Now see, in the first point they say they rejected intellectual explanation of Quran, because according to that first point they say that the Quran, or the things whatever is explained in the Quran, was exactly like from a single viewpoint, that means from the orthodox followers. But Sufis, they are explaining, they are interpreting the Quran on the basis of their experience, because these Sufis, they welcome each and every community. They never had any kind of feelings or any kind of discrimination for anyone. For Sufis, they welcome anyone who is coming to the God. Okay, that is why they have interpreted Quran in their way, in the experience or in the personal experience, right? So now, in other words, now when you say that khankas, when a khanka was made, or when khanka was established, there were some kind of rules that have to be followed. So khankas establish rules for spiritual conduct. Now by 12th century, silsilas began to crystallize. Okay, now when you say silsila, means it's a chain. Okay, so now crystallize in different parts of Islamic world, and as we said, it's a chain. It signified a continuous link between the master and a disciple. Now because of this continuous link with the master and disciple, they were able to transmit spiritual power and blessing to the devotees. Now the master, when I say master, means the one who is almost very close to God, and devotees means those who are praying. Now when a master and the devotees, when they pray together in one area, the master sometimes, with their prayers, he gives them a kind of blessing, a kind of power, a kind of vision, that the devotees start feeling that we are being transmitted to different world. And those who join this silsilas, they also have to take an oath. Okay, and according to that oath, they have to follow the type of life that they live in this silsilas or khankas, right? Now what do they do? First of all, the oath is all about the way of living, the way of dressing. So first of all, they say that in this, whoever lives in khankas, they all have to wear patched garment, means a garment which is not a single piece, which is sewed out of, which is sewn, means which is stitched out of different piece of cloth. Okay, now when you say different piece of cloth, means a torn cloth is being repaired, now like that only. So they have to wear a patch clothes. Now another idea behind this patch clothes is what they that patch clothes also signifies that different types of communities can be brought together. Okay, can be brought together. There is no limit for who can come, who cannot come. Patch clothes also signifies that we are open for all. That is what the patch clothes signifies. So they said we have to go for patch clothes or patch garment, and they have to shave their head. Now when the sheikh died, there was a tomb shrine, and this tomb shrine was built in his honor, in the honor of the sheikh. Now this dargah very soon became the center of devotion for all his followers. This encouraged that they should be going for pilgrimage, means the pilgrimage way of living started, means people, they started feeling that we should go to this pilgrimage. That means ziyarat. According to the Islamic term, it is known as ziyarat, means going to this areas where peers or dargahs or any other important persons, the dargahs are being made, or shrines are being made. So people visited these dargahs either on the death anniversary or on marriages, and in that way the term or the practice of pilgrimage also started. Now in other words, the sheikh was also known as the wali. So now from this we came to know a type of practice, a type of new rule or new type of idea emerged. That means after the coming of Sufis, and when they established khankas and silsilas, the new way or the new outlook of Islam came out outside the khanka. So here we'll see that people who have different views of khanka, what do they feel about khanka? So 4 different views comes out from here. First of all, some people started a movement that symbolizes that they were based on essential explanation of Sufi idols. They say that whatever started, means the movement which started was basically on the ideas which was given by the Sufis, that means about the khanka. Then secondly, many people, they hated the khanka and they took one step, that is mendicancy. Now when you say mendicancy, means to become a beggar, a religious beggar, and they observed a life which is very different than the others, a common man, that means an unmarried life, which is also known as celibacy. Now they ignored rituals and observed extreme forms of asceticism. Their way of belief is very different than what is being taught in khankas by the Sufis or any other Islamic heads. Now because of this, they were given some kind of names like Kalandars, Madaris, Malangs, Hadris, etc. Now because of their way of living and their way of thinking of the Sharia, means of the rules and regulation which is passed by the Islam, they were often known as Be-Sharia. Those people who are not abiding by the rules which is passed by the Islam tradition or by the Sufis, they do not fall in Sharia or Ba-Sharia, but they fall in Be-Sharia. That is why that new term is given, or a new word came out, just because of these people who have a different type of feeling about khanka and its way of life. The Chistis in the subcontinent. So we will start with 7.1, life in the Chishti Khanka. So for this you can take down a question. The question is, discuss the activities of Chishti silsilas in subcontinent on the basis of Khanka of Sheikh Nizamuddin Aulia. Okay, so let us go through and see what is this all about. Now the khanka was a center of social life. There is a hospice of Sheikh Nizamuddin at Ghiaspur in Delhi. Now all this thing means when you go inside this, you will find that it was made of many small rooms and a big hall in which inmates and visitors lived and prayed. Now the Sheikh lived in a small room on the roof of the hall where he used to meet visitors in the morning and evening. A veranda was surrounded by the courtyard and a boundary wall run around the complex. Inferior condition which was caused by Mongol invasion, people from the neighboring areas also flocked into the khanka to take shelters. Then people from all walks of society used to visit his khanka and for his guidance and for any kind of help on different issues. They were rich and poor, traders, slaves, then people from different types of status, then soldiers, scholars, musicians, politicians, all used to come to this khanka and they take some kind of help from him. It is just like a area where people come for consultancy type or to have some kind of support from the king or from anyone who is very well known during that time. So all these people from the neighboring areas, they flock into the khanka to take shelter. Now people from all walks of life, as I said, they all come here, and the khanka, because many people come to stay here, so what do? They organize a langar. Langar means a kind of kitchen. Langar is a kitchen. All day run by the futu. And then these people walk day and night just to fill up the stomachs of anyone who is present in that khanka. Then Hindus or Kalandars visited the Sheikh. Many persons visited him. The most important personality who came to meet him was Amir Hassan Shizi and Amir Khusrau and court historians Ziauddin Barani. So besides all these people, besides all the types of people, the most important people also they came. There are some practices as bowing before the Sheikh, offering water to the visitors, and yogic exercise. These are all practiced out here, and this was done so that this tradition follows out here, so that people can learn something different which they don't practice outside the world or outside this khanka. Then Sheikh Nizamuddin appointed many spiritual successors and authorized them to set up hospice in different parts of the subcontinent. And this result was very good. That means whenever he said we need this, we need that. A hospice means almost the copy of this, where people can come and stay. In a simple word, in today's word, we can say a hostel, right? And this was given, the order was given by the Sheikh, saying that you have to start some kind of hospice other places so that people can come and get some kind of help out there. So it was very good, means the result was very positive. The teaching practices and organization of the Chishti became fame and spread fastly. Chishti devotionalism, ziyarat and qawwali. So for this you take down a question. The question is, discuss silent features of Chishti worship. So as we go through this part, we came across the word ziyarat. Now ziyarat means pilgrimage, and this pilgrimage is basically done towards, means visiting the tombs of the Sufi saints. And visiting the tombs of Sufi saints became very prevalent in all over the Muslim world. Now this practice was done, or this was practiced in order to get blessings from the Sufis. Now more than 7 centuries, people of various caste, creed and color, or whatever background they belong to, they all show their devotion to dargahs of the 5 great Chishti saints. Among these, one of the most common or one of the most revered one was the Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti's dargah, and this was popularly known as Garib Nawaz because he was the comforter of the poor. No poor man goes empty from his shrine or from his world. That is why he was known as the Garib Nawaz. When he was alive, he really looked after this poor. Then when the earliest text was referred, we came to see that, or it was found that Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the first sultan or the ruler to visit the shrine, and he was the earliest. When you say he was the earliest king who have done this. But the earliest construction to the house of the tomb was funded in the late 15th century by Sultan Ghiyasuddin Khalji of Malwa. Now every king have done something or the other. The first king, that is, or the first sultan, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, was known because he was the first to visit the shrine. The second name that we have taken, that is Sultan Ghiyasuddin Khalji of Malwa, he was known because, or he became famous because he funded for the construction of the house, or means construction of the tomb. Now since the shrines were located on the trade route link between Delhi and Gujarat, now as it is said, trade route means this is a route where many travelers used to pass by. So because of that, many travelers were attracted towards these shrines. Then by the 16th century, the shrine became very popular. Now this shrine was in fact an area, means people started coming into these areas. Now pilgrims of different areas, they used to come and they sit here, and after sitting they used to sing. Now the shrines had become much popular during this 16th century. Religious singing inspired Akbar to visit the tomb. That means when people who means when you say people means the pilgrims, when they come, they start singing. As they start singing the religious songs, Akbar was also inspired with this religious song, and he visited the tomb. He visited the tomb not once but 14 times, 2 or 3 times in a year. Then he sought for blessing for new victories and the birth of son or sons. Then he maintained, or he constructed, a mosque inside the compound. Now he kept this tradition until 1580. Now each time of his visits, what did he do was that he visit without failure, and whenever he visits, he never failed to give some kind of gift, and that gift's also not small. He will be throwing the gift generously. Now generous gifts were there, which were recorded in imperial documents, means the inscriptions have written that Akbar had given this much. Now for example, one of the thing that is said that he offered a huge cauldron or dig to facilitate cooking for pilgrims. Means what? Deg means in a simple way we used to say it's a kind of a dekchi, okay, or a pot where cooking can be done. Quite a big pot was given by him, so that cooking for pilgrimage can be done at one time in a mass quantity. So he also constructed a mosque within the compound of the dargah. Then he gave all whatever was needed to this area, so that people will never face any kind of trouble or any kind of problem while coming, sitting, or spending their time singing in praise of God and all these things. Also part of ziyarat is the use of the music and dance, including mystical chants performed by specially trained musicians or qawwals. Now these qawwals will be singing beautiful songs, and then the Sufis, they used to remember God either by reciting the zikr, that means the divine names, means they'll keep on chanting the names, or by evoking his presence through sama. Sama means some kind of singing, some kind of audition will be there, or performance by mystical music. Now see, Sufi music, we say. Now Sufi music, it's a very different type of music. Means when anyone starts singing this Sufi music or Sufi songs, you will be mesmerized with its words, with its meaning, with its whatever music it is. You will be like, wow, it's a beautiful thing that touch your heart. That is what the sama comes out. Okay, that environment used to be very different out there. Then the sama was integral to the Chistis and exemplified interaction with indigenous devotional tradition. The last part, as it says, is what is that? Because of this singing, dancing, music, and then different types of things were there, the environment used to be so beautiful that it exemplified. More and more interaction started. Many people started to visit these areas, and different type of indigenous devotional tradition was brought forward in this Chishti. So our next topic is languages and communication. So for this, you can just take down a short question. The question is, write a short note on the languages and communication which was adopted by the Chistis. So let's see what is this all about. Now when you talk about this, now we came to know that the local language was adopted by the Chistis, and this local language was known as Hindavi. And this Hindavi was used because many people could understand the language. Besides this, other Sufis like Baba Farid, they compose verses in different languages. Those are also local only, and whatever they wrote, whatever the verses were written or songs were written, these all were compiled or incorporated in the Guru Granth Sahib. Then some Sufi saint, they also composed long poems which were known as Masnavis, to express the ideas of divine love using human love. Now one of the example was taken in the book that is Premakhian, that is love story, Padmavat, composed by Malik Muhammad Jayazi. Now this poem or this love story was between the romance of Padmani and Ratnasen. Ratnasen was the king of Chittor, and their journey of love, or their soul's journey, was considered so divine that this poetic composition was recited in the khankas or hospices during any type of sama. Whenever there is a meeting or whenever there is some kind of gathering, after all songs and this and that, they will never miss out to sing some kind of songs which are related to Padmavat. That means they really revere this Padmavat songs because it was telling about the divine love. Okay, then another type of thing or Sufi poetry also started in some towns, in different towns, that is in Bijapur, Karnataka. Now here they start to write short poems in Dakhani, that is a different type of Urdu, okay, which was attributed to the Chishti Sufis who lived in that region during 17th to 18th centuries. Now this poem where most of the time was sang by the ladies during their household works, means whenever they are doing some kind of works like grinding grain, spinning or sewing or cleaning, they used to sing these songs. Then other compositions which was also become quite famous during their time was the Lori Nama, or we can say in Hindi we used to say Lori. Now these are, in English we say lullabies, means the songs which a mother used to sing so that a child can go to sleep. Others were known as Shadinama or wedding songs. Now these are all the things that was used by the different people, because all these are passed by the Chistis only. Then besides this, the Chistis or the Sufis, they were also inspired by the Bhakti tradition of Kannada, that is Vachanas of the Lingayats, and the Abhangs, that is from Marathi of the sons of Pandharpur. Now these are all practice. And then the Islam people also, they gradually start to gain power or start to gain their area in Deccan because of this songs and all, because they started to follow these things. Okay, they started to communicate to people about this presence of songs, vachanas, then different types of music. And when they all showed this type of songs, people started to like it, and so Islam also spread in Deccan area with the help of language and communication only.